In the late 19th century, a Swiss painter created an image of destruction, silence, and fatal calm. More than 100 years later, a modern aircraft would fall into the cold Atlantic Ocean. And many people would look back at that painting and ask a chilling question. Did a work of art foresee a real-world disaster?
Behind every moment lies a scientific wonder. I'm Kale, and welcome to SciCurios, where curiosity meets science.
This is the story behind the painting that predicted a plane crash. The painting most often mentioned is The Wreck, created in 1887 by Arnold Böcklin, one of the most influential symbolist artists of his time. Böcklin was known for dark, introspective imagery, ruins, death, isolation, and the overwhelming power of nature. His art was never optimistic. It was philosophical. In The Wreck, we see devastation in a vast, indifferent environment. The scene is silent. No rescue, no witnesses, only aftermath. Although Böcklin painted shipwrecks rather than aircraft, modern viewers often notice how closely the mood resembles photographs taken after aviation disasters at sea. At the time Böcklin painted this work, powered flight did not exist. The Wright brothers would not fly until 1903. Böcklin was not predicting airplanes. He was expressing a symbolic idea: humanity's fragility when confronted by forces beyond its control. Yet symbolism has a strange habit of returning in unexpected ways. On September 2, 1998, Swissair Flight 111, a McDonnell Douglas MD-11, crashed into the Atlantic Ocean near Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. All 229 people on board were killed. The aircraft was en route from New York to Geneva. The investigation later revealed a fire above the cockpit ceiling, caused by faulty wiring and flammable insulation materials. The pilots lost control as critical systems failed. Within minutes, the aircraft was gone. What followed was one of the most thorough aviation investigations in history. But outside official reports, another narrative quietly emerged. Böcklin was Swiss. Swissair was Switzerland's national airline. The wreckage lay beneath dark waters. And Böcklin's painting, created more than a century earlier, seemed to echo the same sense of isolated catastrophe. Was it a prediction? Or was something else happening in the human mind? Psychologists refer to this phenomenon as apophenia, the tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated events. When tragedy strikes, the human brain searches for order, warning signs, and patterns. Randomness feels unbearable. Meaning feels safer. Art, especially symbolic art, is uniquely vulnerable to this process. Because it is ambiguous, it can be reinterpreted endlessly. Böcklin's painting did not change. The world around it did. Importantly, there is no historical evidence, none, that Böcklin ever claimed prophetic insight. His writings describe mythology, emotion, and mortality, not future events. The painting was never hidden, censored, or rediscovered after the crash. It had always been there. What changed was our perspective. This is a classic case of retrospective meaning. After a catastrophe, we project significance backward, transforming coincidence into destiny. The same mechanism fuels stories about novels predicting disasters, films foretelling pandemics, or cartoons foreseeing political events. None of this diminishes the emotional power of the painting. If anything, it shows how deeply art resonates across centuries. Böcklin captured something universal: the quiet horror of sudden loss, the smallness of human life against vast natural forces. That feeling existed in the 19th century. It existed in 1998, and it exists today. So did the painting predict a plane crash? From a scientific and historical standpoint, the answer is no. But from a psychological and cultural perspective, the question itself reveals something profound about us: how we cope with tragedy, how we seek meaning, and how art becomes a mirror for our fears. Perhaps the real mystery is not whether art predicts disaster, but why we so desperately want it to. Before you leave, consider this. Do you believe certain artworks can feel prophetic because they touch timeless human fears? Or do stories like this reveal our tendency to impose meaning after the fact? Have you ever seen a coincidence so striking that it made you question chance itself? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Science is everywhere if you just know where to look. Thanks for watching SciCurious. Until next time.